Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Chapter 13. This is Exercise D, parsing Latin to English. Sententia prima. Milites, postquam impedimenta paraverunt, castra cras moverunt. So we start with milites, first word milites, from miles, militus, masculine, which means soldier. Milites, because it's a third declension masculine noun, not an I stem. It can either be in the nominative or the accusative, both of them plural. If it's the nominative, it will show the subject of the sentence. If it's accusative, it will show the direct object of the sentence, the direct object of some verb. Postquam. Postquam is a temporal conjunction, meaning after. And it shows time, shows when something happened. So after something happened. This is a dependent clause. The main clause is going to be milites castra cras moverunt. Postquam, this dependent subordinate temporal clause, time clause. Impedimenta, from impedimenta aurum, neuter plural, which means baggage. It's the plural of impedimentum, which means a hindrance, because baggage, it's a hindrance. It's a bother. This could either be the nominative plural, neuter, where it will be the subject, or it could be accusative plural, neuter, where it will be the direct object of some verb. Paraverunt, from paro, parare, paravi, paratus, to prepare, to ready, to get ready. This form, it's the third person plural perfect tense. It's formed off of the verb's perfect stem. Active indicative. It's a first conjugation verb. You can tell by the principal parts. O, are, e, and us. And thank you, English editor. We have commas here to show us where the dependent clause is. So after they prepared, after they got ready, or they readied the baggage, I don't think the baggage readied something. It seems like they, a subject, they would ready the direct object, impedimenta, the baggage. Let's jump back to the main clause. Castra, from castra aurum, always neuter, always plural, means camp. That form could be the nominative plural, it would be the subject, or the accusative plural, the direct object. Cras is an adverb meaning tomorrow. Don't procrastinate. Do it hodie, today. And then moverunt, from moveo, movere, movi, motus, to move. This is a second conjugation verb. You can tell by the eo, ere, e, us. If the first principal part has an eo, that means that the second principal part must have an ere. It should have a macron over the e. Long ere. I just forgot it. Movi and motus. So moverunt, third person plural, perfect tense, active voice, indicative mood. They moved. Well, who did? Did the camp move? Is the camp the subject? Or the soldiers the subject? Did the soldiers move the camp? Did the soldiers break camp? Or did the camp break the soldiers? Well, as fun as that latter sentence is, it's actually the former. So the milites are the subject in the nominative case. They are also the verb of paraverunt. They prepared. So we could say, after the soldiers readied the baggage, they broke camp. The soldiers broke camp after they readied the baggage. Remember the idiom castra movere, to break camp, literally to move camp. You could also say to strike camp. Sententia secunda. Milites ducem tenebunt in oppido. Once again, we have the milites, miles, militus, masculine, soldier. Third declension, not an I stem. Could either be the nominative subject or the accusative direct object. Ducem, from dux, ducis, masculine, a leader. Ducem is the accusative, singular, masculine. It's going to be the direct object. There is no preposition preceding the word which tells us that it's motion towards. If ducem is the direct object, then that's pretty good chances for milites to be the subject. Tenebunt, third person plural, future active indicative of teneo, tenere, tenui, tentus. The second conjugation verb, you can tell by the eo, ere, e, us of the principal parts. Like the first conjugation, the second gets its stems the same way. Present stem by chopping the re off of the second principal part, like what we have here. This is the present stem of the verb tene, plus the third person plural future. So they will teneo, they will hold, keep, grasp. If the stem were the perfect stem, tenu, third principal part minus the letter I, then we would be working with a perfect, pluperfect, or future perfect tense. But here we have a third person plural future. So the soldiers will keep the ducem, the leader, the direct object. In plus the accusative shows motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative shows location, in or on. In oppido, oppidum e neuter. Where are we? We are in the town, in oppido. The soldiers will keep the leader in the town. Optime, tertia, sententia tertia. Nonne consules manebis de belli periculo. Nonne, we begin interrogative nonne when we want the answer, we expect the answer, or we're trying to influence the answer to be yes. So you can see it's known plus ne. Consules, from consul, consulus, masculine. It's a third declension masculine, not an I stem. And this ending consules can either be the nominative plural, where it would be the subject, or the accusative plural, where it would be the direct object. Manebis, well, that tells us about consules. If manebis, second singular future, active indicative of moneo, monere, monui, monetus, then the subject is a second person singular you. You will warn. So if you is the subject, consules is the direct object. And then the known in nonne is going to be closely linked with this verb. We could say, will you not warn the consuls? You can contract will not to won't. Won't you warn the consuls? With the expectation that the answer is yes, I will. De plus the ablative means about or concerning. Can also mean down from, where it's an ablative separation, but here it's going to mean about, concerning. Takes the ablative, but belli is not ablative. Belli from bellum e neuter. This is going to be the genitive singular neuter, genitive of possession, because the war is possessing the danger. It's the war's dangers, the danger of the war. So de goes with the ablative periculo, from periculum e neuter, danger. De periculo belli. We got belli, the genitive, nestled snugly in between the preposition and its noun. About the danger of war. Won't you warn the consuls about the danger of war? Will you not warn the consuls about the danger of war? Quarta, sententia quarta. Nostri milites in litore prope mare viderunt. So nostri, that comes from noster, nostra, nostrum, meaning our, belonging to us. This form can either be genitive singular masculine or neuter, or nominative plural masculine. As an adjective, it usually agrees with a noun, but it can also act as a substantive, and it often does. Milites. So milites, from miles, militus, masculine, soldier, can either be the nominative plural masculine, or it could be the accusative plural masculine direct object. If it's nominative, it'll be the subject. If it's accusative, it'll be the direct object. Can nostri agree with milites? Yes. Can say our soldiers. Doesn't have to. I mean, we're going to continue to read. Maybe we'll change our minds. In plus the accusative shows motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative shows location, in or on, like in litore, litus, litoris, neuter. That means the beach, the shore, the strand, the sandy shore. So ablative, in litore, we are on the shore, on the beach. So something about soldiers on the beach. They could be our soldiers are on the beach. Prope. So prope is a preposition, which means near, nearby, next to, takes the accusative. Mare, mare, maris, neuter, sea, the big blue wobbly wet thing. That is a third declension neuter. It is an I stem. The declension of mare is mare, maris, mari, mare, mari. Maria, marium, maribus, maria, maribus. This is going to be the accusative, because remember it's neuter, so its accusative will look like it's nominative, mare. So prope mare, near the sea. On the shore, near the sea. Viderunt, third person plural, perfect active indicative of video, videre, vidi, visus, to see. So the subject is a they saw. So if we could say, our soldiers saw on the shore, our soldiers on the shore next to the sea saw? What if it's nostri as the subject? Our men, with an implied viri, and this nostri is acting like a substantive. What if our men, viderunt, saw the direct object soldiers on the shore near the sea? That's what it is. Nostri, though nostri milites look like they can agree, nostri is actually the subject in the nominative, and milites is the direct object in the accusative. Our men saw soldiers on the shore near the sea. Optime, quinta, sententia quinta. Materne tua in urbe manebit? So materne, we are asking a question. This is an interrogative indicated by the addition of the particle, the enclitic particle ne, which is attached to the first word, like an alien parasite. So mater, matres, feminine, mother, nominative singular feminine. This is our subject. Mother is the subject. And we're asking a question. Tua, from tuus your, as in singular your, thou, or thine. So you could say, tua mater, your mother, thy mother. In plus the accusative shows motion towards, into, or onto, but in plus the ablative shows location, in or on. In urbe, from urbs, urbis, feminine, in urbe. That's in plus the ablative of location, in the city. Manebit, third person singular, future active indicative of maneo, manere, mansi, mansus. Don't confuse maneo, to remain, ma, remain, with moneo, monere, monui, monitus, which means to warn or admonish, monish, mo. So this is remain, ma, remain. Third person singular future, so will remain. The subject is the mater tua. Your mother will remain in the city. Now, make it an interrogative, a question, expecting a neutral yes or no. Will your mother remain in the city? Sexta, sententia sexta. Nom hostes auxilium, a castris nostris prohibent? Nom. We begin an interrogative with nom when we expect or want to influence the answer to be a no. Do not add an extra non in here. It's already contained in the nom. Hostes. Hostis, hostis masculine, meaning a public enemy, in the plural, the enemy or the public enemy. This is going to be, it's a third declension I stem. And hostes is either going to be the nominative plural masculine subject or the accusative plural masculine direct object. We don't know which one yet. The enemy are either going to do something or something's happening to them. Auxilium, neuter, help or aid. It's either going to be the nominative singular subject or the accusative singular neuter direct object. So the enemy are either going to do something to the aid or the aid is going to do something to the enemy. Oh, how exciting. Ab, preposition from, away from, plus the ablative of separation, like casra, orum, always neuter, always plural, camp. This is a plus the ablative of separation, castris, a castris, from the camp. Always plural. Translate singular in English. And then nostris comes from noster, nostra, nostrum, our, belonging to us. Also ablative, plural, and neuter, to agree with castris. Adjectives must agree with the nouns they modify, in gender, in number, and in case, all three. And prohibent, third person, plural, present tense, there's the present stem, and then the unt, personal ending. Active indicative of prohibeo, prohibere, prohibui, prohibitus, a compound of pro, habeo, which means to habeo, have, pro, in front, to hold out in front, to keep in front of you. Talk to the hand, keep it in front. Nope, go further. Prohibit or prevent. So this verb usually takes an accusative direct object and then an ablative of separation, because you can keep an accusative from an ablative. So the hostes, the enemy, the auxilium cannot be the subject because prohibent is plural, like hostes is plural. The enemy are keeping, help, aid, from our camp, separation from our camp. Now, turn this into a question, an interrogative, where we expect a no answer. The enemy aren't keeping help from our camp, are they? No, ridiculous. Why, the idea is absurd. Optime, septima, sententia septima. Frumentum, agricolae, retinete a flumine. Yeah, that could get really ugly really fast. Frumentum, frumentum e neuter, grain. This is either the nominative singular neuter subject or the accusative singular neuter direct object. Don't know which one. Look, comma, comma. This word is offset by commas. Agricolae, from agricola, I, masculine, farmer. This is going to be the vocative, direct address. We are directly addressing farmers, calling them out. Farmers! By name. Retinete, from retineo, retinere, retinui, retentus. It's a compound of re, teneo, to teneo, hold, re, back, to keep back, to hold back. And it's going to be a plural imperative. There's the present stem, also the singular imperative, retine, and then make it plural, add te, retinete. So keep back. And we're directly addressing the farmers, which are also plural. So we're saying farmers, comma, keep or hold the direct object, the grain, back a flumine, from the ablative of separation, flumen, fluminous, neuter, river. Farmers, keep the grain back from the river. It would be a shame if all that grain fell into the river. Octava, sententia octava. Liberos, multa de geographia, magister docebat. So liberos. This is going to be liberi orum, masculine and plural. Though it looks like free people, here it's going to mean children. Liberos, the children. Accusative plural masculine direct object. Liberos, the children are little free people. Multa, from multus aum, much, plural, many. This could be nominative singular feminine. It could be nominative or accusative plural neuter. And we don't know which one yet. De. De plus the ablative shows separation down from, away from, or can also mean about or concerning. And that's what it means here with the ablative geographia. Geographia, geographiae, feminine, geography. So earth, scribbling. And then magister. Magister, magistri, masculine, teacher, guide. This is going to be the nominative singular masculine subject. So the teacher is doing something. Docebat is teaching or was teaching. Third person singular. Imperfect, there's the ba tense marker of doceo, docere, docui, doctus. So the teacher was teaching. Hey, how about that? And what or whom was he teaching? The direct object liberos, the children. The teacher was teaching the children, and what was he teaching them? Doceo can take a double accusative. You teach something to something. Multa. The liberos multa, many things. De, about geography. You could translate this to much about geography. The teacher was teaching the children much about geography. He was teaching them many things about geography. Nonna, sententia nona. Ubi prope litus habitabam, multas naves pulchras saepe videbam. So ubi, when, temporal conjunction. This is going to be our temporal clause, our time clause. When this happened, then the main clause happened or was happening. When, prope, preposition meaning near, next to, taking the accusative. Litus, litoris, neuter, shore. This is going to be the accusative going with the preposition prope, so we are near the shore, near the beach. Habitabam is first person, singular, imperfect, active indicative of habito, habitare, habitavi, habitatus, to live or to dwell. When I was living prope litus, near the shore, multas naves pulchras, multas from multus aum, much plural many, accusative plural feminine to agree with the naves. Naves comes from navis feminine, ship, navy. It's either going to be the nominative or the accusative. If it's nominative, it'll show the subject. If it's accusative, it'll show the direct object. Pretty sure it's going to be accusative because of multas being accusative, plural feminine. Naves, maybe accusative, plural feminine. Pulchras, from pulcher, pulchra, pulchrum, beautiful, noble, fine. Well, pulchras is going to be accusative, plural feminine. So it looks like these are all going together. The adjective multas and pulchras agrees with the noun naves. Many beautiful ships. Saepe. Saepe is an adverb meaning often or oft. Videbam. First person singular, so I am doing the action. Imperfect tense, there's the ba of video, videre, vidi, visus. I was seen. I kept on seeing. I used to see. I often used to see the direct object, many beautiful ships. Cool story. When was that? Oh, when I was living near the shore. When I was living near the shore, I often was seeing many beautiful ships. I often used to see many beautiful ships. And decima, sententia decima. Multam pecuniam vestris amicis debemus. Multam from multus aum, much plural many. Multam is accusative, singular, feminine. looks like it's going to agree with pecuniam, from pecunia, I, feminine, money. So accusative, singular, feminine. Accusative shows the direct object. So multam pecuniam, much money, a lot of money, is going to be the direct object of some verb. Vestris, from vester, vestra, vestrum, mean your, as in your plural. And it looks like it agrees with amicis. Amicus e masculine, a friend, from the adjective amicusaum, someone who is friendly. And this is going to be dative. Both of these are dative, plural, masculine. Dative shows the indirect object receiving the direct object. So your friends are about to get a lot of money. And then debemus, we, first person plural, present tense, active indicative of debeo, debere, debui, debitus, to owe, or to ought to do something. Well, we owe, what do we owe? Much money. To whom? To your friends. We owe much money to your friends. We owe a lot of money to your plural friends. Optime, very well done. That wraps it up for exercise D. You are now ready to move on to exercise E. Vale te omnes.